each carrying a staff. Aaron told Pharaoh to let God's people go, but the Pharaoh told them, no, no, no. God sent plagues to the land and to the skies, frogs and bugs and hail and even some pesky flies. After many days of this, the Egyptians were sad. Pharaoh said, get out of here, and the Israelites were glad. Moses and the Israelites left Egypt behind, but then the Pharaoh just up and changed his mind. Pharaoh chased the Israelites and they were as scared as could be, but Moses raised his staff and God parted the Red Sea. All of God's people walked on dry land, and the Israelites went free just as God had planned.
Good morning and welcome to Kids Church today. The Bible is full of God's words. Let's see what God has to tell us today.
If you obey my teaching, he said, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:31-32.
Right, let's see if we can remember the verse that Becky just told us. Right, how did it start? Said, right, if you obey, what did we have to obey? Do you remember? That's it, my teaching. He said, what was it? You really are. Do you remember what you really are? Which ones are these? That's it. My disciples. Then you will know. Do you remember what you will know? That's it. The truth. Right then. And the truth will set you free. There we go. Should we say it together? If you obey my teaching, he said, you really are my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8, verses 31-32. What do you think freedom is? What do you think it means to be free? Why don't you have a little chat with whoever you're with and see if you can come up with some ideas? If you look it up in the dictionary, it says freedom is the power to act or speak and think as you want. It's a state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. But can true freedom really be found in doing what we want when we want? The Bible often sees things differently to the world we live in. Let's see if rules lead to freedom or not. Let's test the theory out and have a look at some rules and decide how they actually give us freedom. Each time, let's consider what might happen if the rules weren't followed. Okay then, so why does music have set notes, rhythms and timings? Oh, I don't need to follow the music. I know jingle bells. Dashing through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Why are there 20-mile-an-hour speed limits by schools? Why are you driving so slowly, Jeremy?
Well, I don't want to run over any school children.
Why does making a cake involve certain amounts of flour, butter, sugar and eggs, and even certain time needed in the oven? I don't need a cookbook or scales to make a cake. I know what it takes. It takes flour, egg, sugar and margarine. Okay, so I need some sugar. How much sugar? Oh, that'll do. Some margarine. Oh, I might as well pop all of that in. Oh, and a bit more. Why not? Okay. An egg. In goes the egg. And some flour. Oh, I wonder how much flour. Oops. There we go. Nice lot of flour. Whew. Right, and then mix it all up. Whoa. Oh, not too much like a cake. In fact, I need some, what should we have? A little bit of milk. Perhaps a little bit of milk will help. In it goes. Great cakes, and I'll pop them in the oven to cook. Oh, would you like one of my lovely cakes, Jeremy?
Oh yes, lovely.
Whose rules do you think we should follow to be truly free?
So here's where we are in the story. The Israelites had been slaves for years and years, and they wanted out. So they cried out to God, "Rescue us!" But Pharaoh wouldn't let them go. No. So God sent some trouble to Pharaoh. First, God turned the Egyptians' river to blood, but that didn't work on Pharaoh. No. Then he made frogs invade Egypt. There were frogs everywhere. No. Then God sent zillions of gnats and flies, but still Pharaoh wouldn't let the Israelites go. No. So God decided to punish Pharaoh more. He sent sickness and horrible boils to appear on people's skin. No! But still Pharaoh didn't obey. So God sent hailstones, that's pieces of ice, falling from the sky. Next, he sent a swarm of locusts. Now those were like the flies and gnats, only these guys ate all the food in Egypt. And still Pharaoh said, nah. Next was complete darkness. No light. And finally God told Pharaoh that if he didn't obey and let the Israelites go, all of the firstborn in Egypt would die. Unless lamb's blood had been painted on the family's doorpost. That did it. When Pharaoh's son died because Pharaoh didn't obey, the leader finally said to the Israelites, "Go." So that very night, the Israelites left. They didn't know which way to go or where they were headed, but God had promised them something. He said, "I will show you a new way, a new land, and a new home." So, to help them out, God sent a huge cloud for the Israelites to follow. A cloud and a pillar of smoke stretched up to the sky. During the day, the cloud shaded them from the heat in the desert, and at night it glowed with warmth to keep them safe and warm while they slept. When it was time to move, the cloud moved in front of them, and when it was time to rest, the cloud stopped. The Israelites walked and walked and walked until God led his people through the desert to the edge of a great sea. They were wondering, how will we cross the water? When suddenly they heard the sound of thundering and pounding. It sounded like horse hooves. Pharaoh had changed his mind again. He wanted the Israelites back, and now Pharaoh's army was chasing after the Israelites. The Israelites didn't know what to do. They were stuck with a giant sea in front of them and an army behind them, and it was coming fast. They panicked. The water was too deep to walk through and too far and long to swim through. They didn't have boats or horses, and the soldiers were getting closer and closer and closer. But Moses told them, "God will make a way for us to escape." And then something strange happened, something they had never seen before. The cloud moved behind the people and hid them from the Egyptians. God told Moses to raise his hands and his staff, and God sent a strong wind to blow on the water. The wind blew all night long. It blew some of the water to the left and some to the right until there were two towering walls of water, and right in the middle was dry land. The Israelites took a step, and another step, and another step, until all of the Israelites had walked right through, right where all those enormous waves had been. God had rescued the Israelites again, and it wouldn't be the last time he did that. God would save them again, once and for all. But that comes later. And I can't wait for you to hear that story.
What do you think was the scariest moment of that story for God's people? I think it was when they could hear the Pharaoh and his army coming up behind them, the noise of those carriages and horses, and they thought that they were going to be stuck. They had nowhere to go. Well, that's what they thought. But remember that God is amazing, and with him we are never stuck. Did he leave his people stuck there? No, of course he didn't. He did something truly amazing to set his people free. I've just finished making a paper chain. Have you ever made a paper chain? Often, chains are symbols of people who aren't free, that have lost their freedom. And I was thinking about what things can stop us from feeling free. I've got here fear. Are you afraid of anything? I really hate spiders, and I know that if there's a spider in the bathroom, I can't go in there to clean my teeth. I'm too scared. So I'm not free to go into the bathroom. What else have I got on my chain? Sadness. If we are feeling really sad, if we're missing somebody, or perhaps we've lost somebody and that sadness is grief because they have died, well, the sadness can be so much that we don't feel that we are free to feel happiness at all. And what else have I got here? Oh, so untangle that bit. Guilt. Perhaps sometimes we don't feel free because we feel guilty about something we've said. Perhaps we said something nasty to somebody, or perhaps we've borrowed something without telling somebody and we get into trouble and we feel guilty. All these things can stop us from feeling free. I wonder what it feels like to be wrapped in chains. Let's see if I can find a willing volunteer. Oh, so how does that make you feel, Becky?
I'm a bit sad and I can't move.
No? Can you give us a little dance? Oh, not very well. God designed us to be free. Being friends with him always means we end up being free. Now, do you remember that Bible verse you taught us earlier on, Becky?
Oh, yes. If you obey my teaching, he said, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Dear Jesus, thank you so much that we are never stuck when we are with you. Thank you that even if we are scared or sad, you can do amazing things to make sure we are free. Thank you for even parting a whole sea in two to save your people. You are an amazing God. Amen.
You can